assure you, he was taking less than what most beginners would take on their very first cycles. And so I'm not going to say exactly what he took. I do believe that's private information. I can tell you, he was not taking very high doses whatsoever. One thing I do know is that Joe Linder struggled to stay that lean all the time. He was constantly battling hunger and was drinking a ton of coffee. I believe he said at one point he was drinking 4 liters a day.
All right, guys, we're back for another episode of Muscle Discord, and we wanted to jump in and discuss Joe Linder, passing away. Very sad news, shocking the bodybuilding and fitness community. And but we want to really dive into this because there's a lot of speculation happening and about the cause of death. And I think that needs to stop. Okay. We shouldn't be focusing on it, but we can look at certain things that have come out and that I've noticed, that you've noticed, Matt, and discuss them as to, okay, potentially, what Joe was doing in the lifestyle he was living, and, things to look out for. Because I want this to be, a positive video, and maybe it's going to help some young kid out there who watches this and who's kind of going, maybe they were looking up to Joe, right? And so it's just discussing these things and stop the hysteria of a lot of the things I'm seeing out there on Twitter. It's all over the news. They're just saying this is the cause. This is what's done it. And it's like, you don't know. So, but one thing that really popped out to me and kind of shocked me is when I watched Greg Doucette's video, because Greg was his coach, and Greg kind of discussed, Joe's caffeine usage and the amount of it. So let's just jump into it right away. I don't want to just drag it on, and give you some context here. All right.
It was so high, and that's what caused him to get a heart attack. But I can assure you, he was taking less than what most beginners would take on their very first cycles. And so I'm not going to say exactly what he took. I do believe that's private information. I can tell you, he was not taking very high doses whatsoever. One thing I do know is that Joe Linder struggled to stay that lean all the time. He was constantly battling hunger and was drinking a ton of coffee. I believe he said at one point he was drinking 4 liters a day. And if the coffee had a lot of caffeine, which is a stimulant, this can dramatically reduce your appetite. Now, we all know that
So 4 liters a day.
17 cups.
17 cups of coffee per day. Now, my thing is, Greg being his coach, I hope that Greg said, hey, Joe, you can't be drinking that much coffee. It's not healthy for you. And
yeah.
Right?
I'm sure Greg must have. I mean, I think anybody's normal reaction to hearing that, okay, you might want to drop a couple of those liters type of thing,
Yeah. Or, cut it out. Yeah. You don't really need that anyways. And then I see on Twitter, it's really, really bad on Twitter. And I see a post here.
Oh, Bradley Martin. And
yeah. Okay. So Joe did go on a Martin's show and discuss how, he
was worried about the certain something.
Yeah. The word we can't say.
Yeah.
He got a shot. Okay. And now you have stuff like this coming out saying, died from brain aneurysm receiving the shot.
Yeah, see, I think that was just a standalone type of thing where he's talking about, a lot of people were worried or cautious about that type of thing, right? But I think a lot of people have kind of taken that and then now melded it together with this unfortunate tragedy here.
Yes.
And now they've tried to correlate the two.
It's just
which again, Matt, nobody, we don't know this.
No,
you can't put this type of fear mongering out there. These conspiracy type of things. Those two dudes talking about it, that's fine, because that's you're chatting. But don't try to take from that interview and then link it to this. That's not cool.
They're just stating it. It's after receiving these shots, causing significant blood work changes, right? And diagnosed micro clots. Okay. But is that a proven fact that caused?
No, this how many weeks, months later type thing. No, of course not. That would be silly to draw that type of conclusion.
No. So my thing is that what I'm more focused on is the caffeine usage and how it has been attributed to high blood pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which
Mm-hmm.
can then cause blood clots, which then will lead to your brain aneurysm. So that's something that we kind of looked into more and wanted to chime in a bit more on, right? So they've done studies, okay, about, they found that caffeine significantly increased the coagulation factor during exercise, meaning that the participants who had the caffeine drinks had a higher risk factor when it comes to what causes blood clots. Okay. So that's important since blood clots can cause things like stroke, deep vein thrombosis, heart attacks, and pulmonary embolisms, right? So blood clots is
depending
one of
on
the,
where that blood clot is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got kind of dive a little bit more deeper into it. And then you kind of mentioned this article to me, Matt. So let you kind of chime in on it.
Yeah. So this is just drawing the correlation between caffeine usage and aneurysms. So because naturally caffeine is going to up that blood pressure, and that's going to increase the pressure for an aneurysm. And the aneurysm is that thinning of the wall, right?
Yeah.
And any type of increased pressure, you tell me what's going to happen, or has the ability to happen, right?
Yeah.
That part of the wall that is thinned out and weakened can blow. It can blow out, burst, and then you've got bleeding in wherever that aneurysm is. So in this case, the brain. You're going to have that bleeding in the brain. So, that correlation and these things that can happen is just horrific. And you never know when it's going to happen. You never know what's down the road for you,
And then, his girlfriend did say that he had an accident a few days prior, I believe.
Yeah.
And is that a contributing factor? And then he said he had some neck pain, sharp pain, but he didn't get it checked out. So if you want to learn,
no, you're the pain on the neck is so common for all of us, right? As I'm sitting here now, I've got pain in my neck.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not going to think, oh, aneurysm, I might be in trouble type thing. I'm going to go to the hospital or to the doctor. No.
Yeah.
So, what's Joe going to do? It's like, got a bad neck, right?
I think we're all stubborn like that. I'm stubborn, and you get a pain or something. You're like,
1,000%.
I don't want to go to the doctor for this.
Especially
right?
guys.
Yeah.
We're not going to go anywhere.
But if there's a lesson to be learned, if you do have a sharp pain or something's in your neck or in your leg or some kind of
don't super dismiss it.
Don't super dismiss it. Just, because he had it, and a couple of days later, now he's gone.
Yeah.
Right. It's very sad.
It really is. And to your point, if it's definitely given me a second pause about things, because when I heard Saturday, I did take a pause, right? And I'm like, I ignore a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And the Joe was 30, Matt.
Yeah.
30. And I ignore a ton of stuff. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I ignore a lot, but guys, we can't ignore stuff anymore, man. They at least have it give you pause, give yourself some pause and maybe it's not normal. Maybe I should go check it out,
Yeah. And less is more, in a sense. Like, you don't need 17 cups of coffee a day. I just don't know what his interior system must have looked like after drinking that much caffeine, and the dehydration that caffeine causes, which does cause cramps as well, and it causes the electrolyte imbalance. It's just not a good thing. So do not take excessive amounts of caffeine.
Energy drinks, coffee,
all of that stuff.
Whatever it is,
don't do it.
Cycle it.
Go on and off.
Go on and off. Give your body a break, like you should from almost anything.
Yeah.
Too much of anything is not going to be good. So,
man, he's going to be missed. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I didn't know him.
I didn't know him.
I met him a few times.
Yeah.
At the expos.
Okay.
talked shop, chatted a little bit. The one common denominator that everybody is getting right, which I appreciate, is that no one has a bad thing to say about him.
No.
Joe was a super cool guy, super nice. I never heard him in any type of kerfuffle, any type of drama with anybody, any type of beef. He was always accommodating, always had a smile. So everybody got that right, at least on social. Everybody got that right.
Yeah, man. It's a sad day in our industry when things like this happen, but it seems like it's been happening, and we have a lot of legends passing, and maybe because it's a smaller niche kind of industry that we're in, so we notice it
more. We notice it
more. But these things happen every day, and we lost a great guy, and he'll be dearly missed. And if anything, we learn from these things and take note and take care of yourselves and take care of your health. Don't abuse these supplements and taking all this extra stuff. It's not worth it in the long run. All right, Matt. So we're just going to pop off, and just wanted to come in here and give our perspective on this, and the causes of death and what led to the blood clot. There's a lot of speculation going on, and that kind of just needs to stop, because none of us know, and none of us know for a fact, right? The people that do the autopsy, they're going to find out what happened and do their investigation, and then maybe that report will be released, and we can come to a conclusion on this and figure out what happened and why. But we'll leave it there, wrap it up, and we will catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the bell notification so you get notified every time we release a new episode. We appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.